Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of BNN. Tonight we have our favorite female monk. It's Ayya Soma. See how happy she is to be up there sharing the Dhamma with all of you. She's so excited, and I can tell you're all excited too. So welcome to Ella, Rich, Adriana. I know Adriana's happy that it's Ayya Soma. Welcome, Catalina. And Gabriella, and welcome to whoever else is watching and not saying anything. So Adriana says in all caps, heck yeah! So she's apparently excited that you're sharing Dhamma. Hello, Lilia. So as usual, we will start with chanting the Ratana Sutta. And then after the Ratana Sutta, we'll have some guided meditation and then a Dhamma talk. And Richard says, fresh daisies. Yes, from our own garden. So please join us with chanting the Ratana Sutta. The link is at the top of the live chat. Hello, Mark. Mark joining in as well. Great. So please, everyone, join in with chanting the Ratana Sutta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Yani bhutani samagatani bummani vayani va antaleke. Sabbe bhuta sumana bhavantu atopi saka chasunantu vasitam. Tasmahi bhutani sameta sabbe metam kabrota manusiya pachaya. Devacharato chaharanti evaling tasmahi nebra kata apamata. Yan kinchividang idavahuram vasage suvayam ratanam panitam. Nano samangati tathagatena idampi buddhe ratanam panitam. Etena satshena suvati hotu. Kayam viragam amatam panitam yadanchagasa kamuni samahito. Natena dhammena sammati kinchi yedampi dhamme ratanam panitam. Etena satshena suvati hotu. Yang buddha seto parivannayi suching samadhi manantare kanyamahu. Samadhina tena samona vijjati idampi dhamme ratanam panitam. Etena satshena suvati hotu. Ye bhungala atasatam pasata chatari dhani yugani honti. Vineya sugata sasavaka ete sudinnani mahaphalani. Yedampi sanghe ratanam panitam etena satshena suvati hotu. Ye supayutta manasa dalhena nekamino godhamasa sanamhi. Te patipata matam vigaiha lanta mudanim buddhing munjamana. Idampi sanghe ratanam panitam etena satshena suvati hotu. Yatinda kilo pataving sito siya chatu pivate viya sampakam piyo Tatu pamang samurisang vadami yo Arya Satchani avichapasati Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena satchena subhati hotu Ye Arya Satchani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani Kinchapi te hundi pusapamata gate bhavang adiyanti Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena satchena subhati hotu Sahava sadasana sampadaya daya sudhamma jahita bhavanti Sakaya deti vichikichitancha silamatam vapiyadati kinchi Chatuhapaye vipamuto chachapithanani abhammo katum Vedampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena satchena subhati hotu Kinchapi sokham mankaroti papakam kayena vacha udaceta sava avambo sota sapatichadaya avammadadita padasamutta Idampi sanghe ratanang panitam etena satchena subhati hotu Vanapagumbe yatha pusitange gemhanamase patamasme gemhe Tatopamang dhammavaram adesayini panagamim paramang hitaya Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena satchena subhati hotu Varo varanyo varado varaharo anutaro dhamma varangadesai Idampi buddhe ratanam panitang etena satchena subhati hotu Kinam puranam navam nati sambhavam virata citta yatike bhavasmin Kekina bija virulhin chandanim manti dhiraya dayam paripo Idampi sanghe ratanam panitam etena satchena subhati hotu Yani thabutani samagatani bhummani vayani vahantaleke Tathagatam deva manusa pujitam buddham namasama subhati hotu Yani bhutani samagatani bhummani vayani vahantaleke Tathagatam deva manusa pujitam dhammam namasama subhati hotu Yani bhutani samagatani bhummani vayani vahantaleke Tathagatam deva manusa pujitam sangham namasama subhati hotu Etena sachavanjena dukkha vupasamentu te Etena sachavanjena bhayavupasamentu te Etena sachavanjena rogavupasamentu te Okay, and welcome to Edward, Elaine, and Melinda, and Jacqueline. So at this time, we'll do some meditation practice.
All right, so you can sit in a comfortable position. Making sure there is no pressure on the feet and legs. And perhaps rocking your body from side to side. So that it naturally centers. And you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And relax your entire body. Relaxing the head with the forehead, the jaw, the mouth, the throat, the neck. Relaxing the shoulders, the torso, the belly. Relaxing the arms and the legs and the feet. Relaxing the breath and lifting our attention and keeping it to the breath. Watching each in-breath and out-breath by the nostrils. Without forcing the breath, just watching it naturally coming in and out. If the breath is long and deep, we know that it's long and deep. If the breath is short and shallow, we know that it's short and shallow. We don't want for it to be any different than what it is. We just observe and know every single moment the way it is right now. If thoughts appear in the mind or sounds distract us, we don't need to make a problem out of it. It's only suffering arising and suffering ceasing. And we can just bring our attention back to the breath, noticing every in breath and out breath, dwelling in the pleasantness of something so simple like breathing. So comfortable each breath when we pay attention to it. Remembering to keep a smile on our faces. watching how happiness increases the more we pay attention to the breath. The more we still our mind, the more happiness arises. The more happy we are, the more the mind becomes still. And as our body and mind becomes more and more relaxed, more and more peaceful, more and more happy, we can reflect on how this happiness is always available to us. It's always there, one breath away. All we need to do is pay attention to something that we do in every moment. How something so ordinary can be so extraordinary. And bring so much happiness to the mind. So we can wish for ourselves to always be happy, to always be healthy, to always be safe. May we be free from suffering. May we attain supreme blissful Nibbana for the benefit of ourselves and all sentient beings. May our minds be free from greed, hatred, and delusion. May we be free from suffering. And we can extend this wish to all sentient beings, humans and non-humans, in this world and in another world, wherever they are. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be safe. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be free from greed, hatred, and delusion. May all beings attain awakening. May all beings attain supreme, blissful Nibbana. Alright, you can relax even more.
Okay, thank you, Aya, and welcome to Jen, AP, Priyakant, Jessica, and Geeta. So at this time, we'll invite Aya to share some words of Dhamma.
All right. Well, thank you, Bante, and thank you to all the friends who have joined us tonight or this morning if you're in another part of the world for practicing together. So this evening, the subject is Dhamma-Sukha, which is actually, I think, one of the number one reason why I'm in robes. As soon as I started hearing words of Dhamma, it delighted. My mind has become delighted. I used to be very much into looking for truth in literature, in art, in all different forms. Had all these collections of books or books from my parents that I would borrow since I was a little child. And then as soon as I encountered the Dhamma, pretty much all the interest in everything else started slowly dissipating. And there was always this brightness, like, oh, wow, so delightful to hear words of Dhamma. And it's kind of like when you have a puzzle and you find the missing piece and it like fits in perfectly. You're like, ah, yes, I was looking for this piece all this time. And I couldn't find it anywhere, but now I find it, I can put it there and it all makes sense. Now I have the full picture. And it's interesting how that is the experience for so many, and for at least for the past 2,500 years, for many sentient beings who have encountered these teachings. Whether they were really lucky and it was from the words of the Buddha himself, or from, as we have, thanks to all our brothers and sisters in Asia who have preserved the teachings and have brought them to us. so that now we can also have Dhamma-Sukha. So what is it? What is it that makes the Dhamma so special? And here at the monastery, actually, we recollect the qualities of both the Buddha, that is up here, both the Dhamma and the Sangha every morning, the triple gem. Why is it the triple gem? It's because it's something incredibly precious. It's incredibly unique to have the Buddha. So to live in an era where we still are under the influence of a Sammasambuddha, we still have more or less, but I would say more than less, the teachings of the Buddha impact that lead to awakening. And we still have the Sangha. So people who have followed these teachings and have become awakened. And we have lots of people who are also following in the footsteps. How beautiful, how delightful. Whenever I reflect on that, my mind brightens up. So funny how we spend most of the day doing unskillful thinking, unskillful thoughts. When, for example, we can think very skillfully, we can recollect, actually we should recollect with the Dhamma and Sangha, especially if we have restless thinking. Lots of times we think that with Buddhist practice we're supposed to not think at all, but actually there's lots of thinking that can be done, but directed in a skillful way. And recollection of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha is definitely skillful thinking that brings to peace and liberation instead of suffering. I've done lots of unskillful thinking today that was so grumpy before the talk, before the meditation session. And now I'm like, oh, great. First I followed the teachings of the Buddha, practiced meditation, first chanted, then practiced meditation. Now I'm recollecting the great qualities of the triple gem. Just like that, happiness arises, sukha arises. I was watching actually a few hours ago a Dhamma talk from my preceptor, Venerable Panyalati, who always says the right thing at the right time. And one of the questions that she brought up during the talk was, if you think about the past days of your life, have you been living in accordance to Dhamma or in accordance to the world? And to live in accordance to the world, you don't really have to put any effort. But in order to work in accordance, in order to live in accordance to the Dhamma, we need to put right effort. We need to do a little bit of work. And so how do we know whether or not we're practicing in accordance to the Dhamma or we're practicing in accordance to the world? Well, her answer was very simple and very much in accordance to Dhamma. And exactly what the Buddha says. Just look at your mind and see, has suffering increased or has suffering decreased? Has peace increased or has peace decreased? Has wisdom increased or wisdom decreased? And if the wholesome has increased, then we're practicing in accordance to Dhamma. If the wholesome has decreased, then we're getting, once again, wrapped up in worldly concerns, worldly afflictions, back into our past habits. So very, very simple but effective way. You don't need a teacher, you don't need a guru. You can just look at your mind honestly and go, what is the situation? Okay, looks like the mind is a little bit deranged. So let's bring it back. That's where we need to put right effort. A lot of times we talk about right effort just in meditation practice. Just like, oh, now I have the determination to sit here and nail it, so to speak. But actually, right effort, there's right effort in every single moment. Right effort to act in accordance to Dhamma instead of reacting in accordance to our defilements. Right speech being one of them, for example. One needs to put right effort in recollecting the Dhamma whenever dealing with others. So a lot of times we are very good on the cushion, less aware, less mindful where we are in everyday life. Also just recollecting, once again, right effort in using thought appropriately and recollecting the right things. And so what is so special about the Dhamma? And there are several qualities of the Dhamma that, as I was mentioning, we recollect every morning here. And one that is a universal law. So it's not something, that it's an opinion or a theory, but rather it's something that we can see, we can practically verify in our experience. No different than the law of gravity, for example. So it's something that we can experience, we can see. It's not someone's opinion that goes, oh, I think that gravity is here. And the other person's like, oh, no, I don't think so. Well, and then you're like confused. You're like, I don't know. Oh, maybe. So a lot of times actually we come with that approach to the Dhamma, thinking that, we can kind of pick and choose whatever we like and get rid of whatever we dislike. But if we actually look at the joy that gives the mind everything that we naturally, where our mind naturally has a propensity and naturally gets it, and we take the other elements as a working hypothesis, then we can start seeing how this is not a matter of opinion, but rather it's something that we can really see for ourselves. We can test it, we can practice with it. And that's what we're supposed to do. So the Buddha doesn't tell us, okay, this is what it is, that's it. Just trust me, believe me. Out of faith alone, don't question anything. But rather quite the opposite. It is something, believing in the Dhamma is still something wholesome, but not as, doesn't make that much sense. It's kind of like, as Venerable Robina Turtin, one of my favorite teachers, says, it's kind of like believing in the theory of relativity. I mean, believing in physics, believing in botany or whatever. It's a little bit kind of ridiculous to say, well, I believe in physics. You go to the university and you're like, well, I believe in physics, so can I have the A+? I passed. And like, that's bizarre, isn't it? So it's not something really that we need to believe in, but rather take it as a working hypothesis and really see it for ourselves, really practice it. And that's when we start seeing how we cannot prove the Buddha wrong. So that's where we see how we're talking about something that is universal, but it's also something that we can see right here, right now. We don't have to wait to die. We don't have to wait for the millionth life. We can practice and see the results. This is, for example, in something like so ordinary, like focus, look at the breath, still the mind, and happiness will arise. I mean, if someone had told me that 20 years ago, I would have gone like, yeah, whatever. And probably I think that was kind of like my first reaction. When I first went to the Buddhist monastery, I was like, okay, boring. But that's because I didn't take it as a working hypothesis. So I was just like, yeah, that doesn't make much sense. When I told my parents, for example, to do it, they were like, silly. I didn't need to pay attention to the breath. There's much more important things to do in the world. So when we refute something, then we don't give it the opportunity to actually be tested and seen and verified. But the more we actually take these teachings as something that is extremely beneficial of timely concern that we should be doing right here, right now, we start investigating them, trying them out. That's when we're like, oh, this is the real deal. This actually, the Buddha knows what he's talking about. And it's also incredible how, even though it's the Dhamma, quote unquote, is from 2,500 years ago, it has this timeless flavor, never goes old. Isn't that incredible? Sometimes when you pick up like the New York Times bestseller of 2008, it has already like, so 2008. So it gives you an idea of the preciousness, something that is so relevant, that doesn't talk about the specifics of what was Indian society 2,500 years ago, and what were the trials and tribulations of woman, a man, and a transgender person, and whoever person in India, but rather it's talking about the human experience, something essential, something timeless that anyone, regardless of where they're coming from, can relate to. It's incredible of Buddhist insights because, like, the majority of the people that have come to our that have been practicing with us for the past 4 years come from all different places in the world. Most often than not, actually, Bhante Sudazo is the only American in the room, or very few. He's like the 10% are like actually American, and the majority are from different parts of the world, including myself and community. And it's always remarkable to me whenever we have gatherings of how this Dhamma is relevant to each one of us, regardless of nationality, regardless of gender, regardless of life experience, regardless of job, age. Transcends all of these categories. Incredible, isn't it? And isn't it incredible that we can also like practice it? we have the opportunity to follow this path and see it for ourselves. And so I wanted to now quote the Buddha and how he recommends to recollect the Dhamma. And so these are the connected discourses of the Buddha, the book of 11, so 11:11. And he says, you should recollect the Dhamma thus. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, directly visible, immediate, inviting one to come and see, applicable, to be personally experienced by the wise. When a noble disciple recollects the Dhamma, on that occasion his mind is not obsessed by lust. Just that altogether. Not obsessed by lust, but also not obsessed by hatred or delusion. Just reading this, for example, is producing Dhamma-Sukha, and in fact, my mind in this moment is free from greed, hatred, and delusion. On that occasion, his mind is simply straight, based on Dhamma. A noble disciple whose mind is straight gains inspiration in the meaning, gains inspiration in the Dhamma, gains joy connected with the Dhamma. When he is joyful, rapture arises. For one with a rapturous mind, the body becomes tranquil. One tranquil in body feels pleasure. For one feeling pleasure, the mind becomes concentrated. You see Bhante also having Dhamma-Sukha, a big smile popping on his face. Isn't that beautiful? It's always interesting with Dhamma teachers, from the successful to the least successful, quote unquote. And there's lots of ideas of why one is successful and one not successful. But fundamentally, any kind of percentage of success just comes from the Dhamma. That is the only source. It's the only source. It has nothing to do with any of the beings involved. It's just because it is the universal law. And the only thing that the different Dhamma teachers have contribute is just skills of how to properly talk about Dhamma. But no one is creating anything. There's nothing needed to be added, nothing to be trademarked. It's all there, perfect, lovely, incredible. And it's also interesting, actually, just fun curiosity that I learned recently, how a lot of sort of cults, actually, that have become quite popular, but also like very, oppressing of people, unfortunately. But the way that they were capturing them were actually words of Dhamma. They had a part of the teachings that were from Buddhism. And that was my theory when I started learning this. I was like, this is kind of like how you use unskillfully certain teachings in order to manipulate people. But at the same time, it gives you a great idea of how powerful these teachings are, that even one or a few fragments scattered in a latrine of like unwholesomeness still have a strong power on our minds. And that's because they're true. So we should all rejoice that we actually have not one, not two segments, but actually quite the full picture. And we have the opportunity to practice and truth in awakening and complete liberation. It's incredible good karma, incredible karmic conditions, despite what we tend to think. All right, so that's all I have that comes to mind I'd like to share.
Okay, well, thank you, Ayya. And at this time, if anyone has any questions or comments, please go ahead and enter them. So there's a few comments here. So when you mentioned the thing about seeing whether dukkha is increasing or decreasing, Adriana said, wow, I love that way of measuring. Marielle says, good evening. I haven't been present for the past couple of days because I'm dealing with a family crisis, but I'll be back soon. And Adriana and Ella offered some encouraging words. AP says, reading the suttas daily is very powerful for one's state of mind.
Yes, that's why we offer sutta study every morning. And sending you best wishes, Marielle. Hope that everything gets sorted out soon.
And AP asks, is it possible to become too attached to the Dhamma for it to manifest itself as an obstacle in meditation or daily life?
No. I would say we can start worrying about that when we have levels of awakening that are irreversible. But for the time being, we want to attach as much as possible to the Dhamma, perhaps like use super attack glue, like do not remove yourself from the Dhamma. That's very wholesome.
Adriana found that answer very amusing. Yeah. Kevin is asking, sukha means happiness?
Correct. But Bhante is the Pali expert.
Yeah, it means happiness or pleasure. Yeah. So that's the end of the questions and comments. If nothing else appears in the next few seconds, then we might have an early night, which I wouldn't personally complain about.
But it's very straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah, so nothing else is coming up. On Facebook, Karen says, Buddha Dhamma, such a magical journey towards inner peace and potentially world peace.
Yes, I would remove potentially.
Yeah. Adriana says, thank you again, Ayya. Your talks are always inspiring. Lots of positive comments, thank yous, and appreciations. Yeah, so it looks like that's it for tonight. So thank you everyone for joining in and for listening to the Dhamma, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. So at 8 a.m. we'll have Sutta study, and 7:30 we'll have more chanting, meditation, and Dhamma talk. So we'll end with 3 sadhus. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.